Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Pat Brock. We are here at the beautiful Dublin Theater here in downtown Dublin, and the Missoula Children's Theater group is here, and we've got the director herself, Melissa Trinacosta. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Pat?
Doing very well. This is a busy time for you.
Oh, yes, indeed.
But listen, we want you to tell the people out there of Dublin, Lawrence County about Missoula Theater. Give us a little bit of history and tell us what your purpose is.
Well, Missoula Children's Theater has been around for over 45 years now. We are based out of Missoula, Montana. We hit all 50 states and 17 different countries all over the world. We travel to over 1,200 communities every single year working with kids. We reach over 65,000 kids with our programs.
Wow.
There are always teams on the road. Scott and myself are just one team. This past summer, there were about 50 teams on the road touring all over the world. We had people as far as Bahrain touring, doing this job.
This is amazing. And you know, we want to know about you. Give us your background. Give us some history about you.
Well, I'm from the Chicago area originally, and I've been doing theater since I was a little kid. Not with Missoula, but I hadn't heard of them until I was looking for a job. But I've been doing theater since I was a little kid. I have a bachelor's degree in theater from Cornell College in Mount Vernon, Iowa. And I found a job that allows me to do everything I've always wanted to do. Teaching, performing, working with kids, traveling. It's amazing.
How cool is it to be in a field that you're so passionate about and to touch so many lives in the process?
It is amazing. It is the most fulfilling thing I could ever imagine. Our mission statement for Missoula is teaching life skills through the theater. And we get to do that. So it's not just about learning a show in a week. We are teaching the kids responsibility. We are talking about time management, teamwork, confidence, self-respect, all of these things that are so vital to a kid's development.
I always say that theater is transforming.
Absolutely.
And so the age group that you have 5-year-olds?
Yes, indeed.
Up into seniors, 12th grade?
Yes, indeed. We work all those ages.
Oh, my Lord. How do you, what is the process of getting the kids to take part in Missoula?
Well, it differs from community to community, but here they advertised in the newspapers and everything, on Facebook. The kids show up on Monday for a 2-hour audition, and in the span of 2 hours, we figure out who's going to play what roles, and we figure out the breakdown. We can work with up to 64 kids total during a week. This week we have 18 kids in the show. So in those 2 hours, we figured out who was doing what, and then that night they started rehearsing, some of them.
Oh, my Lord.
Some of them don't start rehearsing until Wednesday, so some of them started yesterday. And then by Saturday, they're going to have a full-length musical.
A full-length musical in 1 week.
That is correct.
I remember taking months and months to prepare for a musical piece. And so you've got these little kids. Now, have you always had a gift of working with little ones?
I grew up in a big family with lots of little cousins. There's over 30 of us on my mom's side of the family alone. And so I've always loved working with little kids. I always wanted to be a teacher, working with probably elementary school, and now I get to do it. So I don't know if it's a gift, but I have enough patience to work with them, which I guess might be a gift in itself.
I think it is. And so, what message would you give to the people out there about the importance of theater arts in the lives of our young people?
Well, I would just say, again, the life skills that it teaches are so important. And if these kids in particular can do this in 4.5 days, imagine what they can do with their entire life. It's amazing what kids can do if you just give them the chance and tell them they can do it. Because they absolutely can.
I remember when I was in the 4th grade and I did my first play. I played a little boy, I remember, and I remember my first line, and I've tried to go online to try to find this play. It was about Trigger Kid, and I always think about when I was that little 4th grader on stage. Do you ever think like that? Like the little girl in you has an opportunity to play?
Oh my goodness, every single week, every single day of my job. That's why I love working with the little ones. I get to jump up there and be a spider with them, and I do creepy crawly big arms with them. It's so much fun. A lot of what we do is just embracing the childlike wonder of theater and just having fun.
This is going to be so amazing. So we'll get to talk to Scott. Is that correct?
I believe so. We are almost out of time with our dinner break.
And let him tell us about the show that's going to take place this weekend. It's been such a pleasure and an honor to speak with you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming, Pat.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the director here, Melissa Trinacosta.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Scott McGee. What is your title, Scott?
Well, I'm a tour actor director, one of the two.
One of the two directors. Very good. Now, Scott, we want to know about you, if you would. Kind of tell us some of your history, your background, where you grew up, where you started in theater, and we're going to segue into Missoula, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Well, I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, and I went to school up in Cincinnati.
Okay.
And then I worked around a little bit. It was Chicago and San Francisco and different areas. Started working with Missoula in 1994.
Nice.
So kind of one of the longest aged tour actors there on the road, but I've been working off and on with them since then. I got my master's over at UNLV, and I've been there ever since.
Very good. Now, Scott, tell us now, have you always had a passion for theater?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up, all my family are artists, and they're all visual artists, but when I grew up, I was doing visual art, but I started liking performing art as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a knack for it and kind of got into it that way.
That's good. And so you're 27 years. Is that 27 years you've been
It's
here?
not quite, but almost, yeah.
Almost. About 23 years.
23, yes.
Tell us in your experience, what has stood out most about working with the kids here with Missoula?
Well, it's interesting because we travel to all 50 states, and we go to 17 other countries, and no matter where you go, kids from 5 all the way to 18, it doesn't matter whether you're here in Georgia or whether we go to Maine or we're across the seas in Micronesia. The kids are the same. Kids are always the same. They're sponges. They soak up whatever you give to them. And that's what we do. We instill that self-confidence and self-esteem in them. And it's really amazing that no matter where you are in the country, kids are all the same, and they're all willing and eager to do this sort of thing. And it really gives these kids that sort of goal building, you know. And it really, and that's what's amazing is no matter how over the years it's changed, the kids haven't changed.
That's right, that's right. And so tell us about the performance that you will be doing on Saturday.
Well, it's a Western version of Wizard of Oz. So it's set out in the West. Of course, Missoula, Montana, you want to do something Western, right? So everything's a little off. So it's like instead of a scarecrow, we have a crow that's scared. So it's a scared crow. That sort of thing, you know. So it's kind of cool. Instead of the flying monkeys, you got like buzzards, you know, tarantulas. So it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a twist on the tail, but you'll be familiar with the story with its unique little twist, which is what Missoula shows all are. Little
now,
twist.
is this an original piece?
It is. Yeah, so it's all new. It's all original. They write them back in the home office. Michael McGill is artistic director, and he writes all the shows out there. Does all the music, so they're all original songs as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you come up with which piece you're going to be performing at which time?
Well, every year we have about 50 teams, like Melissa and myself, and so we're all assigned a show, and we learn that show, whether it's a version of Cinderella or Jack and the Beanstalk or something like that. We are assigned that show, we learn the show, and then we go out and we teach the show. So at any one time, there could be 50 teams doing random 30-odd shows that we have out there.
That's going to be wonderful. And this is transforming for the kids to do.
It really is.
To be able to take part in this. And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's that sense of fulfillment of achieving something to help a kid and to help the future of our world, really. And you're giving those kids those life skills that they're going to take on. And some of these kids will never become actors again, but they're going to have such confidence and such self-esteem that they're going to put that into whatever they choose to do with their lives. And you prove to them that they can do this in just 3.5 days, that they can do anything they want to.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I recall just having to do an analysis of a script, just to prepare myself for that piece. That was weeks and weeks.
Right. And we're all doing this in just 4.5 days, right?
Yes, and you guys are working so fast. You're talking so fast. You got to get everything out there.
We do. We're on a set schedule. We only have the 4 nights. The show comes whether we're ready or not. So the show must go on, right?
It must go on. And you got 2 performances?
We do. We have a show on 3 o'clock and at 5:30 on Saturday.
All right.
And I believe it's $10 for adults and $3 for students.
Well, this is going to be so exciting. So we're so pleased to have met you, Scott.
Oh, it's really nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Continue doing great things.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Scott McGee, ladies and gentlemen, Missoula Theater.
Hi, I'm Chuck Hartwell. I want to say thank you to the community for allowing us to help you in your financial plans. If you're looking for a personal banker to assist you in meeting all your financial needs, then let me invite you to stop by our location on Bellevue Avenue in Dublin. You'll love our location, our services, and especially our people. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, the bank that's service-built, where common sense banking never goes out of style.
Supply and Engine Service, your steel dealer at 826 South Harris Street in Sandersville and 910 East Jackson in Dublin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the theater moms here for the Missoula Theater. And these girls right here, I mean, we've been having like a mom's night out. I mean, it's not even the fact that we're waiting till rehearsal to be over. We've just been enjoying ourselves, and that's been so nice. So listen, Lori, we want to start with you. Kind of talk to us a little bit about you and your family, and let's talk about your child taking part in Missoula Theater. You ready? All right, talk to us.
Well, my name is Lori Bryan. I am a Dublin native. I've lived here all of my life. And I actually heard about this from a friend of mine and was just very interested in getting my daughter involved in it. I'm a homeschooling mama and have been for 6 years now, and just really wanted my daughter to be able to be a part of this.
That is so awesome, and kudos to you for doing that, because that is not an easy task to homeschool, and so God bless you for that. And of course, you know, with your daddy, Lord have mercy. Every time we, you know, the thing is, every time I get the opportunity to speak with your dad or even seeing your mom out, it's always a pleasure. And we know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And so tell us about your little girl. Tell us about the age, and tell us about the things that she liked to do before theater and why she wanted to do it.
Well, my little girl's name is Annabeth Bryan. She's 10 years old. And she just loves performing. She just loves to be around other people, and she's a little bit shy. And so I feel like this was a really good opportunity for her to build up some confidence, and just have a good time and just enjoy being with her friends.
That is so cool, because they're having to work so hard this week. Does she come home exhausted?
Very tired, very tired. Just about falls asleep in the car on the way home every night.
Yeah. So awesome, so awesome. All right, darling, talk to us.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Coleman. I was a teacher at West Lawrence High School for the last 11 years, where I taught 10th and 11th grade English. I also ran a drama program after school. So I have a great love and passion for theater. I'm very thankful that Missoula is here this week and that my daughter is able to participate.
And you know what's cool about that is the fact that they have a theater mom. And so, teaching in the school systems, and then now seeing your little baby girl out here on the stage, what feelings do you have about that?
Well, everybody that knows Emma know that she's a little dramatic. People often say she gets that from me, which I think is probably not true. She probably gets that from her dad. That would be my guess. But she loves being on stage. She was very excited at the end of the first night. She's like, I got the lead role. I am Dottie. And I said, well, Miss Lead Role. So she's very excited to be here.
And you know, just talking to the directors, and they're talking about the thousands upon thousands of kids that they interact with all over the country. And for your child to have an opportunity to take part in this is huge. This is really huge. And so while you say that yours is shy, now where does that come from? Because I haven't seen shy.
Well, I say she's shy, but she's outgoing too. She is a good mixture of her daddy, and her daddy is definitely a little bit more on the shy side, and I'm a big mouth. So she's a great mixture of us both, but she does, I think this is just something that she's doing that's helping her step out of her comfort zone a little bit and just pushing her a little bit, and I can just see how much it's just bringing her out, and she's just having so much fun with it.
And that's such a good thing, and I think that that's definitely what they want to take place, because they're learning so many different things at such little in such a little time span. And you, Ms. Coleman, can relate to that. So when you're doing a theatrical performance, you have quite a bit of time to prepare.
Right. When we as the director at West Lawrence, we did 2 shows per year, and we rehearsed for months to bring together a production, and these kids have 1 week to learn their lines, to learn their staging, their blocking. They come in, they have set and costumes for the kids, they have a lighting design that they have, and so this is very, very fast, and it's kind of impressive to watch them bring it all together in so short a time.
It's, you know, and I think that, you know, to be able to see our children, the ones that we've raised, to be able to grasp and comprehend the type direction that they're receiving this week, it says a lot about them, and it's definitely a growing thing for them. They're definitely growing from this. And so, you know, there's always going to have to be support given to the kids, and you know, talking to kids in all the schools all the time, we talk about how important it is for their parents and their family members to support them. What you tell us about what that means to you, to be able to be in a position to support your kids at whatever magnitude and whatever it is that they're involved in.
Well, for me, I just want to be my girls. I want to be their biggest cheerleader. You know, I mean, and I truly, the greatest joy for me is to be able to see them happy and see them thriving, and just feeling joy themselves brings me a lot of joy. And I just love to be able to be here and experience that with them.
Love, love, love.
Well, it's a little different for me, I think, because I have been in the professional world for so long, and so this is a big change for me, for our family, for me to be able to take a step back and to say, you know, hey, yes, you want to do that? Let's do it. We can make that happen, and I can be there. You know, if I were still teaching, I would be in my own rehearsal after school, and I would have had to say, I don't know that we can work out the time, and for you to be there,
Have to juggle things,
to have to juggle all of that, but I didn't have to do that this time. She wanted to participate, and we were able to say, yes, let's do that and just make it happen.
That's beautiful. And of course, we want to note that you two are both homeschooling moms, right?
Yes.
I mean, girls, that is huge. That's a huge task. And I think that I remember when I stayed home with the kids, I mean, you know, to make that decision to stop my career at that time, to stay home and nurture the kids. I mean, that's a huge decision, and it's not an easy task to be able to do. And so I commend you both for being there for your kids and the way that you're being there for them. And so what message do you want to give to a parent out there to encourage them about this program and the benefits of it, as not just as the child, but also as the parent, to see your child perform on stage like this?
I just think this is a wonderful opportunity. I just think that we need to be very supportive in this community of having troops and groups of people come in. You know, we have a great number of kids here, but I think we could have had many, many more. And I just think that when these types of opportunities come around, the community should really take advantage of it, because it's just, you know. And I would just love to see so many more opportunities like this come along. And I know, you know, I've lived in Dublin all of my life, and we didn't have a lot of opportunities like this when I was a little girl. And so I just think the more support we give, the more we'll have opportunities for our girls, or, you know, boys, for our children like this. So I think it's so important when it's advertised to come on out and be a part and support it.
That's right. Well said too, Lori.
Well, we know that the arts are transformative. We know that the arts, the impact that they have on students, on their intellectual well-being, as well as their emotional intelligence, their physical bearing, their confidence, their ability to speak in front of people. We know that the arts have the ability to transform students, to transform adults even, really, in a way that just speaks to themselves as individuals, to the community at large. And I have always pushed for just an increase in support of arts in this community. And so anytime a group comes in, we really want to be supportive. We try to see concerts when they're here. We've gone to when productions have been brought in. We try to come and participate. But we really would like to see the arts grow tremendously in Lawrence County. And so I'm thankful for an opportunity like this, both as a mom that I get to see my child participate in, but really as a resident of this community, where we can say we really care about the arts, we support the arts, and we want to see the arts continue to grow.
That's right, and I've been finding that the Dublin Lawrence Arts Council, who brought this here, they're really working on different things to bring to the city of the arts. We know what the arts do. I'm a product of the theater arts, of what that did for me as a shy, little scrawny girl. Believe it or not, I was scrawny at one point, and very shy. And I think I remember going on stage, and every time I perform now on stage, or every time I'm in front of this camera right now speaking to people out there, I always think about when I was that little girl, when I was very shy, but I had a dream. I wanted to be in front of people. I wanted to be able to speak to people and share with people, to share life with people, and I'm a product of the theater. And definitely an advocate. So thank you both for sharing your hearts with us about about your families, what you believe this is doing for your children as well as yourselves. This was beautiful, girls. High five. Job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the fantastic moms here, theater moms here from Missoula Theater. This has been Lori and Cheryl.
Portions of this program are brought to you in part by Dale Nifong, your State Farm insurance agent, located just off Hillcrest at 103 Darsa Drive in Dublin. Call for a quote today. Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. And buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express. Now located at I-16 and 441 and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express.
All right, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, with Mr. Dwayne Little. Thank you for taking the time from the piano to sit with us. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am, you too.
Tell us about what's been going on with you.
Well, this year I came onto the board of Dublin Lawrence Arts Council. So I was introduced to Missoula Children's Theater a number of years ago in Mississippi, and was really excited to see Dublin be exposed to this for the first time, and much less to be a part of it.
And tell us about the process of getting it to come here.
Well, I wasn't necessarily involved in the contractual part of it,
Right.
but this is pretty much a national theater company from Missoula, Montana, and 42 weeks out of the year, they travel the nation with different teams and put on productions. And 1 week, they come in with their professionals, hold auditions, and process those kids through body gestures and making their voice
Like voice changes and
larger in the theater and make them aware of how they affect their audience, I think, in a short amount of time. And then, of course, drive it home really fast because they only have 4.5 days to do the whole thing.
We hear him in the background here,
Yes.
too. How has this whole process been for you, and what has been your role within it?
I think for anybody who comes in contact with it, it's just a fresh reminder of why we love theater and why arts are so important to the community. And to see somebody come in from a different perspective and have that kind of energy, it's just insurging in a way that you don't get in a normal situation.
And it kind of gives you a little bit more energy, a little bit more,
Sure. Well, I work with ensembles all the time, but unfortunately, I'm usually the driving force. And it's just nice to be exposed to different things, and especially folks that have just come in fresh off of another project and have something like that going on.
You know, we talked to them earlier. They're talking like, 1 week they're here, 1 week they're there. They're going to be like in Utah, somewhere after that. So, or South Dakota. It's like so many different places. And we've seen you in action. We've seen the method to your madness. We've seen that. And you've been working in theater for a while. So what's coming up next? Like, what's in the works for Dublin?
Well, hopefully, as far as this particular genre, I hope that the community has been able to see through either the public school exposure that we were able to bring in with this particular aspect, or the community being able to come in and audition and see the facility for the first time, or to see the community that already exists here in Dublin, but for the first time, maybe they have a familiarity with it. They know the process more. So if we have any dreams of perhaps one day having a children's summer theater or a joint project between middle school and right now a non-existent high school drama program, the things that we could use this to bounce off of to go forward in Dublin with children being involved in the arts.
That would be such a tremendous avenue to be able to do that, and we're thankful that you're working with that, you're part of that. And kind of tell the people about some of the members of the Dublin Lawrence Arts Council.
Well, to be honest, most of the ones I know have been the veterans.
Yeah.
So they kind of ushered me in on their last year and rolled off this year. But there are some very capable hands at the helm. We still have yet to meld as a board so much because there's so many fresh ideas I got a text just this afternoon saying, I'm so impressed with just the proactive nature of the group and bringing this fresh energy to the board and those kinds of things. So I think from the growth in Dublin with our industry, from the growth of the downtown and the good job that they're doing, there's a lot of people being drawn into the community that haven't necessarily been a part of their heritage.
Right.
So as those two things meld, they're both so important. And it's just exciting to see new people on the board, but we're relying on the heritage that we have built already and to see what it grows into.
And that's great. You've got a lot of brainstorming going on, so that means you're talking. The buzz is going on. You're trying to, pick ideas and pick each other's brains. So that's going to be a great thing. So it's bringing a definitely different cultural, creative aspect to Dublin. Which
Well,
is nice.
it's just interesting that so many different parts of the tapestry come together because some people want to be on stage and some people are on stage every week and they want the integrity of their process to be the most important thing.
Yeah.
Other people, they have the resources to come in behind. They have time. They have the money to be able to pull things together. They have the notoriety of certain groups.
That's right.
So it takes that to be able to create it all.
It does, and it's a working process.
Oh, absolutely.
Working process.
And the work never stops.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne Little, for sharing with us. We appreciate everything you're doing within the community, within the church, and we love what you're doing.
It's my privilege.
Mr. Dwayne Little, ladies and gentlemen.